Welcome to the Ramblecast. We're going to start off with some sad news first.
Sad news.
Dennis, who is a frequent
Contributor.
emailer, and I'm sure you guys know, if you come to the get-together in Raleigh, his wife, Mary Ellen, passed away last week. Very shocking, very sad.
And our heart and sympathy goes out to their family who's grieving, and to Dennis. We wish you the best, but there's just no words. So
it's like someone part of our family. I mean, it's
yeah. Jack and I, we were all talking before the show began. We've all met Mary Ellen. She's very quiet, but also, she had a ninja wit. Like she'd bring it out, and just the right moments. So very.
She put up with all the craziness that happened in Raleigh.
She did.
I always love those kind of people too that are quiet, but they know exactly, or they're a step beyond what you're thinking, but they keep it in, and then at the right moment, they just let it out, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Where did that come from?
Sometimes I get that from us too. Like we're kind of holding in the crazy or the like. I'm not sure if they really get that deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sad news, and no way to really kind of move on from that. So we wanted to kind of address it at the beginning and allow Nick.
Again, it's family. I mean, it's just people know, and it just I was just stunned when I heard the news. I was shocked.
So deepest sympathies to Dennis and his family. So
yes.
You will be missed, Mary Ellen.
Yes.
If I would have known, I would have picked a better song. But... all right. Well, I guess we'll start now.
You're like,
take us away. Yeah.
Take us away, Nick.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Ramblecast, you are making me crazy. The producer is lazy, so won't you help me out?
Is he breaking up or me?
Oh, Ramblecast, am I breaking up? Oh, okay.
Keep it going, Nick.
Ramblecast, the show is simply tragic. The jokes have lost their magic, so won't you please go home? You became a legend of the silver screen, and now the thought of meeting you makes me weak in the knees. Oh, Ramblecast, you are driving me frantic. Go jump in the Atlantic to wherever you belong. Ramblecast on straight to
All right, what's the I can't figure out the song.
I don't know that song.
It's Honey Pie by the Beatles, right?
Okay, there it is. All right.
It's on the
I know it's the Beatles, but I'm like going,
it's on the B side of the second record. I think, pretty sure.
Well, that was your best one yet. Jackson Glotfelder asked, "Did anyone watch the Emmys?" No.
Did not.
I saw a few highlights. I saw when Christina Applegate came out, they gave her a standing ovation and stuff
She's
like that.
She's been through a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it.
No, I haven't watched an award show in forever. Just because especially this year was really weak. I felt for stuff, but
you had the strike and
that's what I'm saying. Like you didn't have a lot of, even movie wise. I thought like you had like maybe 3 good films for 2023, and you kind of
yeah. Anyway, I didn't watch it.
I tend to not watch award shows or make time for them. I mean, in the time of like network TV, just for the sheer fact that I had nothing else to watch, I would always have the Oscars on, in the background. I think just because I'd be working in the studio or something, and it was just kind of something to do. So, kind of like football games sometimes, like that's how I got more into sports, is just having them on in the background.
Yeah.
So, and now with streaming, I mean, there's just so many options of things clamoring for your attention. It's no wonder that people are watching so many things that, like they're just clamoring for all of that viewership.
It's amazing how the Super Bowl keeps its power.
Even last year, I think
they made it. Yeah, but it's still up there. It's not like the Oscars used to be like, I think like Matt was saying, it's when we were younger, you had really no choice. It was the Oscars and whatever else was
true.
But it was a Sunday night thing, and Monday you'd be talking about it in school too. You'd be, oh, did you see so and so won that? And you're like,
and then now
group of friends.
I'm sure I get like a push notification, especially with the Oscars, like every time, like so-and-so won Best Actor, this one for Best Producer. And you're like, oh, so you don't even really need to watch it. They'll just kind of tell you the news updates. Or you can just wait till the next morning. I know, but I kind of like them. Like, oh, okay. And then what else? Speaking of award-winning stuff, I didn't watch it in theaters because I knew it was going to be really a long film, but it's on Apple now for free. Did you guys watch Killer of the Flower Moon?
I have not.
The Scorsese film with Leo and DiCaprio and Robert De Niro
and the guy from Friday Night Lights and Breaking Bad, married to what's her name?
Well, you guys haven't seen it, so I kind of didn't want to spoil it for you. And I'm sure it's going to be one of the nominees for Best Picture or whatnot, but it's just one of those films that I didn't think it was Scorsese's strongest. And it's not the story, because I think it's actually a pretty compelling story that probably needed to be told. I just didn't like the way he told the story.
Randy said it's his favorite film of the year.
Really, Randy? That's interesting. Okay, that's kind of what I was.
Killer is my favorite, so I don't know.
Killer.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
yeah,
it's true. It is Killer.
Is my favorite. Yeah.
The Killers is a good movie.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Now, I guess it's just because it's not a traditional Scorsese film, I guess, in that like it doesn't have a lot of what you expect from him, and then just the way that I think the story, like I said, is worth telling. It's just I kind of felt that they gave away. There's no mystery to it at all. It's just kind of like, this is what happened, and we're going to show you how it happened. And
those are hit or miss with me, because sometimes you go, oh,
yeah,
but sometimes you do such a great job of telling the story,
right?
You kind of.
I mean, the acting is great. The acting is exactly what you expect it to be from DiCaprio, from De Niro. There's no complaints at all about this. It's just I kind of wanted it to be. I think it would have been more interesting as a detective story, or who's behind it kind of thing. And you can kind of get that, but you kind of understand from the get-go who's responsible for this, what's going on, and then you just see this tragedy unfold, and you're kind of like, oh well. And then once it's over, you're kind of like, okay. But it's not a bad film. I just didn't expect.
It's a long one, though, isn't it?
It's a very long film, and to me, it's one of those things. I kept thinking about it, going like, should this have been a like a 3 or 4 part series, or a shorter film to kind of have it more like.
Well, that's another. We bring back streaming services, streaming,
right?
Yeah,
right.
With like the Right Stuff and other long movies.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have an option of a streaming. We had HBO gave us a potty break.
Right.
Halfway through to go, all right, you got 3 minutes to go do whatever you have to do and come back for the movie.
And I mean, there were miniseries like Roots, and North and South. Like there were these miniseries events, and or V. It's like if you didn't catch it that night, you were gonna like shit out of luck. Randy, though, high praise for saying that he read the book before seeing the film. Usually,
he read the book. Okay.
The film doesn't usually.
But he agrees with what I'm saying. So. Yeah, like I said, I didn't hate the film. It's just I kind of just felt I questioned the way he told the story. That's it. That's it. Like
I know. When it came, I saw previews. I said, "Yeah, I want to see that," and I just never got around to seeing it.
What would you have done differently with Raging Bull? Go ahead.
Yeah, with Raging Bull, yeah.
Film in color.
Film in color for real. It's 1980. Come on. Yeah.
In color.
Yeah. No, like I usually tend to be a fan of Scorsese. Like, I think I was glad he won for The Departed, and I love The Departed. But there's definitely movies,
right?
It seems like we've done a versus of Scorsese films, haven't we?
We have,
yeah. Because I think I picked Departed because I'm still a fan of that movie.
Yeah,
but even though it's not,
the book focused more on the FBI.
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted, was more of a focus on the
Hmm.
FBI and the investigation, because
That's coming out as a prequel.
yeah, well, no, I mean
Side
there
quel.
there still is that element of it, but
Okay.
it starts like roughly halfway through the film, and that to me is the moment the movie gets interesting, because like the first half of the film is really just showing, it's all set up of kind of you understand what's going on, and then these people are dying, but you're kind of like, okay, well, let's get on with it, and I don't know, like I said, it's just the pacing and how
How did
what
Leo
point
work
of
for
view is
you?
it being told? How did Leo work for me?
Work for you.
He did. I kept.
Will Fry he thought he was miscast.
Yeah, like I kept picturing him as why am I forgetting his name? The Godfather. Because like there's definitely times in where he's kind of got the fat blower cheeks, and you're like, he's totally channeling.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking about. Kristen Dunst and Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, her husband's the
There we
FBI. Did Kristen Dunst in it? Where was she in it? I don't think so.
I don't know if she's in it, but
No.
he's in it.
Oh, hello,
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, he
Hello
showed up.
there.
Feeling light?
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit
Her
later.
plunk.
He lost some weight. You
He
tell.
lost his marbles.
Yeah. Sorry. I just got home like 10 minutes ago, 12
That's-
minutes ago.
So let me ask you, Chris. Like I was asking, we kind of were just barely talking about award shows because the Emmys just happened, but we we're discussing the Emmys. But I was asking if they had seen Killers of the Flower Moon, the movie Scorsese film with DiCaprio and De Niro, and neither Jack or Matt had seen it. So we're getting some feedback from the chat about what they thought of the film. But if you'd seen it, I kind of wondered what your opinion on it was.
I have not seen it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I've literally only watched one show for the last. This is what I do. I find a show and I obsess over it. I don't stop until it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on season 7, I think, of Suits.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, keep
you
meaning
were-
to start that.
Yeah, and there's a crossover between this and what's that shitty show we hate watched?
Manifest.
Manifest. Yeah,
I didn't even watch it. I'm just along.
not a
for the
crossover, but
story.
there's an actress who's in both series. I was like, oh, no.
Is
Shit,
it
Ugly
the
Crier?
crazy one or is it?
No, it's his wife.
Oh, his wife. Okay.
Yeah. She plays like a young
Does she play a princess?
lawyer.
Hmm.
But
So she played
yeah,
princess.
so I'm obsessed with Suits. I don't want to take away from your conversation. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be happy to talk about Suits when that time is appropriate. But
No, it's fine.
no,
like I said, I think I've made my point enough about it because, like I said, I didn't want to go too deep in it if none of you guys had seen it.
Yeah,
So it's fine.
cool.
Go ahead, continue with Suits if you want. My whole entire family, aside from me, is really into Suits right now as well. I have not watched it either.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because it's gaining a lot of popularity now. And that's why they were on that award show the other day, is because it's gained its popularity after it was on, right?
Mhm.
So it was originally on, I believe, FX, I think, when it first originally aired. And I think it may have gotten picked up by a different network halfway through. You can definitely tell there's a language change, like halfway through the series. And I mean by language change, like dropping F-bombs and whatnot. So you went from like network TV
Because
to
USA,
like,
it went to USA.
or
right?
USA. I'm not
No, I
sure
think
what
I think
it was.
I think it did start with FX. Because FX you can swear and stuff.
Okay.
FXX, you can swear.
But there's definitely a clear like line in the sand where like after like season 4 or 5, I remember where it was. It was like, oh, okay, they're getting a little bit more
Motherfucker!
crude.
Now it's like,
yeah, they dropped the motherfucker in there. It was actually done by
Let's-
Dule
let's-
Hill.
I'm gonna get mad here.
Ooh, I love Dule Hill.
Yeah. Dule Hill's in the current season.
Is
I'm
he?
watching now. Yeah. I love the show. It's completely formulaic, like in every way possible. But the show is one of those shows where you start growing. And again, it's a character-driven show. You start growing some affection for some of these characters, and I've done just that. Right, and also Meghan Markle is fucking stunning. She's in it. But you really do fall in love with some of the characters on the show. At least I have, and I'm invested. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see. But as far as I know, the show ended a few years back, and then Netflix picked it up. And since Netflix picked it up, it's gained in soared in popularity.
Well, is it still current or is it?
No,
Okay.
no, it's off the air now.
Well, I knew that obviously she wasn't.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that because of its popularity, they might find a way to bring it back, which would be smart because it's a really well done show for sure, and it's definitely, it's kind of the same formula every week, but you eat it up. It's good.
How many episodes per season?
It's a lawyer show, right?
16 episodes per season.
That's
I believe.
solid. That's solid. Not your classic old school.
Yeah,
25, but
and
also not
Sherry
your
says
shitty
lit.
BBC 6.
Yes. Lewis Litt is Sherry's favorite character, and I will say he's also my favorite character. He's this maniacal, dude who's you can't even tap into his persona, but his personality is just it's awesome to watch, and the actor who portrays him on the show does such a great job. And it's funny, he's one of those characters you're supposed to not like. And then he grows on you, and he becomes like one of your favorites. And he is my favorite character on that show.
I love it. I mean, do that to me.
I've talked about this show probably for the last 3 or 4 episodes I've been on. But
that's okay. I did that.
I can't say enough about it. I'm still loving it. I did just finish a season in which I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like there was a point here where they switched it from I don't want to give anything away if anybody decides to watch it. They definitely take a different turn in storytelling in one of the seasons that I was watching. I was like, okay, I'm glad this is over and get back to the normal scheduled business. But
so just to clarify, Dooley Hill's in it.
He is in it. He's not in it until I believe I'm in season 7 now. Okay, so he's in season 7.
And he was probably doing
8 seasons, maybe.
Time, right?
I've been watching the Wonder Years.
Oh,
the ABC,
the new one.
The new one, and Dooley Hill's in that, and he is so. I feel so different in many ways. Like he's such a great chameleon actor. Like he can just fit in to the role. So, been watching that with our kids. So
nice.
It's a good show.
Well, it seems like he's been around forever because
of Psych,
West Wing,
Psych,
and everything else he's done.
It's actually 9 seasons, not 8 seasons. Sorry.
Oh, for Suits.
For Suits, yeah.
Wow, that's a long run.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is like Dwight on The Office. As soon as you see him come on the screen, you know something's going to happen. That's true. It really is true. It's funny to see.
Spoiler alert for The Office.
The development of his character is probably one of the best in the show. What was I going to say? Yeah, it's interesting. The way I found out about this show, this is kind of I feel like this is going to be a new trend for me and potentially for others. Is that the way I found out about this show is that I saw a 3-minute TikTok in which somebody posted a 3-minute clip from the pilot. And I've seen that happen a number of times now. And I'm doom scrolling through TikTok where I'll get someone posts a clip of a TV show. And it got me. It hooked me in. And I was like, I want to know more about this show. Right. So
I did that with Rambo. I kept seeing Rambo.
There you go.
TikTok. I go, all right, I got to watch it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
This show ended in 2019. So it's been off the air for 5 years or 4.5 years at this point. But it was interesting how TikTok, the different medium, is what actually got me hooked on it. And I was like, I need to check this show out. And I did. And it kind of coincided for me with when I got my car, right? Because I get my car, and if I go
up in the world, and you were like,
I go to a charger, right, a supercharger for my car, and I'll sit down, I'll plug my car in. I can watch Netflix in my car, right?
It's Randy's favorite TV show of all time.
So I find myself just watching it and watching it and watching it, watching it at lunch, watching when I charge the car, watching it when I'm home. It's really, really good. It's a great show.
Yeah, I try to get.
I'll shut the fuck up about Suits.
I know when the Bear and Secessions did pretty well at the Emmys, right? My wife was. I go. I go. They're both great shows. Mm-hmm. I'll watch them with you. I'll rewatch it. She goes, no. I go. And so she's watching The Good Wife for the 50th, 60th time. I go. Really? I go. I'm willing to sit down and yeah, well, I'm rewatching MASH, but anyway, but I'm willing to go check. I'm willing to watch something else.
They make a MASH reference
do they?
on Suits to describe.
Oh,
actually,
now
hold on
you've
a
just
second.
gotten jacked.
Very apropos. Hang on a second. So Suits, MASH reference.
I can switch my camera now.
Oh,
Wow,
he's
I
all
know.
fancy.
It's wild, man. You look like you're working for the CIA. You're like
Of course,
knocking out
now
all the
we can
print.
see his Star Trek Next Generation pad there. below
Yeah,
as
you can see
well.
my fancy Star Trek Next Gen pad. So.
See, this is what you guys miss when you don't join us live.
So it's funny because we're talking about who is Lewis Litt, and Sherry says Litt's like Dwight in The Office. In one scene with the main character Harvey Specter and Dule Hill's character Lewis, he clarifies that Lewis. It says Alex asks Harvey what the deal with Lewis, and Harvey explains that Lewis has a crush on him, which is very accurate. He clarifies that he's basically Frank Burns from MASH, which helps Alex understand. He loves you, he hates you, he wants to be you all at the same time.
Frank Burns eats worms. There you go.
Yeah, my sister, same thing. She texted me and said, "Should I watch the session? It won some awards." I was like, yeah, you should watch it. I was like, it's good.
I haven't watched it past season 2, I think.
Well, season
It's not-
3 to me was season 3 to me was the weakest of them. But I think because season 3 kind of had the same feeling as season 2 in a way. But it's a solid show. Like you're not going to be disappointed in it. I don't think you're going to get a lot of rewatch value out of Secession because it's just a tragic, dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
But
it's well done.
It's well done. It's well acted. Like there's not a one weak link in the cast. It's a very good show. My sister though, like after like 3 or 4 episodes, she's like, I really hate the nephew. I was like, Greg? She's like, yeah, I don't like that guy. I was like,
Really?
yeah, I was like, he's probably the most likable character at the beginning.
Is it the guy who works at the amusement park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We probably like him because he always gets stoned.
Matt, this is a terrible idea. I'm not going to fucking pay attention now.
Yeah, I'm watching you draw.
You guys are watching me?
I go,
Yeah.
how does he?
Why
I
are
go,
you
I'm
how does he-
watching
talking
me?
to them, and I can tell they're watching.
I'm
you.
listening
There
to
you
you
go.
guys. the
I was
whole
like,
time.
how is he not messing
Okay,
up?
now I don't
Mine
want to
would
look
be
at
all-
the screen. So
mine would be all
You
over
can
the
either
place.
do that, like you can either see what I'm doing, or just look at me looking down all the time.
I do like your Star Trek computer simulated desk though, for sure.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's lit up too. It's lit.
Mm.
So
Nice.
it has a little.
Miami
kinda
Mike says
thing to it.
Succession always makes me sleepy when I watch it. I blame the piano theme music.
Mm.
What was the other show that Cindy wanted to watch aside from Secession?
No, she
The
doesn't
Bear.
want to watch it. The
She
Bear.
doesn't.
I'm like, I go, the Bear is. I go, it's an amazing show.
You got to
I
watch
go-
this fucking bear.
I go, but she just
Yeah.
says, no, I don't want to watch it.
I'm
So-
happy.
It's
I'm
your
happy.
idea.
I'm happy it cleaned up because it was one of those shows, like I've said before, that it didn't get any traction at all. Season 1, and
No.
I had it in my to watch list because I like the actor from Shameless, who's the main chef, and I was like, I'm going to watch this when I get around to it. And then as soon as I watched it, I remember telling you guys, like, you got to watch it. So again, and Matt, I think at this point had watched it as well, or maybe a couple episodes. And I was like, yeah, you got to.
I started watching because of you.
Yeah, and it's so good. Yeah.
I'm very limited on my markers here, so I can't. I've got like silver, a thin pink, a black Sharpie, a red Sharpie, a blue coat.
Will Fry says all the awards for the Bear were in season 1
Oh,
or
really?
for season 1.
Huh?
If you haven't yet, you should seek out Maddie Matheson, who plays what's his name? I can't think of the guy. His character on the show, the guy who fixes all the shit, the big guy, with tattoos.
Big guy? Okay.
Yeah, he's actually a chef. Like that's the funny part.
Oh,
is
really?
He's the chef of the crew. So he actually has like a YouTube channel. He's got an Instagram, TikTok feed. He is actually like a chef, and he's tons of fun to watch because he is the same person as when he cooks as he is in that show. It's actually really funny to watch.
I couldn't be a chef. I think we talked about this before. I couldn't do
I
it.
couldn't either.
You work your
I
ass
enjoy
off.
cooking. Yeah.
I like cook. I'll cook because I have to eat, and
Right.
I'm okay at it. But I you have that big butcher knife, and someone comes back and complains about some chef. They're complaining. What table? What table?
Right.
Can I see your hand for a second? Ah, you don't need those fingers anymore. Next.
Right. I agree. I couldn't deal. Yeah. I'm a pretty organized person, but I couldn't deal with the chaos. Like that one episode, I think in season 1, where they leave the online orders on and just keep spilling order after order after order. He's like, no.
Oh yeah. Have you ever worked in the food service industry at all as a waiter or bartender?
Yeah, I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I've been a waiter, and I've worked for a caterer, and that's why I like tend to be very typical, because I've been those people, and I'm also really patient and understanding with anyone who is my waiter. But like I think I've said it to you guys, like I don't like doing redundant things, and so I've always said that if I die,
and yet you come back every week to
this thing. Yeah, no, I've always said, like, if I died and went to hell, the 2 things I would have to do for eternity is roll silverware and mulch yards. I cannot stand doing either one of those things, because like it takes a good like 20 to 30 seconds to roll silverware, and then just for someone to go, and then like. And then mulching, exactly. It's so expensive. And then
Randy asked me, are my grandkids demanding customers? And I go, let me just put it this way. None of them can count to 10 using their hands. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not sure.
Chop.
I never roll silverware, but I remember having to cut the focaccia bread. Like that we'd serve like a basket of bread with like an olive oil,
that sounds delicious.
And we would make these trays of focaccia bread. Like, I mean, I'm talking like the huge.
Did you work at Carrabba's?
No, I worked at a brew pub. But it was like these huge trays of focaccia bread. They're probably like 3.5, 4 feet long, right? You take them out of the oven. You'd have to wait for it to cool down, flip it over, tap it out, and get it out. And then I had to slice them up into like pieces like this big, right? It couldn't go a bit more wide. You had to like rule them out. They had to be like no wider than the actual knife blade, and blah blah blah. And you have to stack them, and it's just a big pain in the ass. I'd never be able to go home until I sliced at least 5 trays of bread. I hated doing it.
I want the listeners to know that Chris held up his fingers and about the length of his penis. So if they're wondering how big,
Chris made free queso.
It's average.
I don't know if I could be a waiter or waitress. I guess
I've said it to many people, probably you guys too. Like, every single human being should have to work retail at some point in their life.
I've worked
retail and food service.
Yeah, I know all 4 of us have. Yeah. But it's just, and it's a little late now for me, but I could probably still might have a kid, but I would definitely make my child work retail at some point. Growing up, it's like you've got to learn patience for other people.
Well, you have to, but a lot of people don't. I know we went to Cracker Barrel, Cindy and I, the other day, and our waitress wasn't very good.
Oh, I had
we didn't have silverware, we didn't have anything. She brought the biscuits and the jams and stuff like that, and she just kept walking on. I go, we don't even... So I got my straw out, opened my straw, and that's how I buttered and she comes up and she literally sees me doing it. Doing it like this, because I said, try your straw. The straw will work if you get enough on there. And she goes, can we get some silverware? She goes, yeah, hold on. But she literally sees me doing it with the straw, and I'm like going,
all right.
What point did you go?
I had an experience and I'm very patient with the servers, but going out with my aunt and uncle, we visited them in Cincinnati over the weekend. So there's a total of 6 of us, and they set us at this table that's built for 12. Actually, we're like, so we all are on one end of this table. Our waitress decides, I'm going to take your order from the exact opposite end of this table. And I'm very vocal. I'm just like,
she's like Vladimir Putin at the end of the fucking long table taking your order.
Fancy, yeah. That's the whole point of a long table. You're at one end and she's at the other.
I said, "Hey, no one else is coming."
Do they move the candlesticks?
Half of us are over 42, so we can't hear. So it's just like, but then when she brings the appetizers, where does she set them? In the middle of the table, away from everyone. And I'm just...
Maybe they weren't... Were they good appetite? Maybe they weren't very good.
They were okay, but there wasn't enough. And a good waitress or waiter, doesn't matter, would have suggested, hey, for this size, you might want to double the order, which I would have gladly paid for. I picked up the tab on this because I didn't want I think my aunt would have still tipped her, but I think she probably wouldn't have gone the full 20%. And I was kind because, it's a large table, but it was not great.
Yeah.
Our food took forever, but here was the worst part. It's like a sports bar, right? Okay. And they have the big projected screen TV, right? Playing. There's actually a Kentucky game on. Okay. We're in Cincinnati. There's a Kentucky game on. What's on the screen, you ask? An infomercial about if you're fat and you want to lose weight. And I'm just being subjected to this with classic rock playing in the background. And I'm getting loopy because my blood sugar.
Ozempic commercial.
I have like no food in my stomach and I get silly. And then my daughter, she's very good at stoking the flames of dad being funny. Like we get silly together. And so I'm just having a riot here. And I finally asked the waitress, I'm like, can you please just turn the channel? And my uncle, who's sitting right across from me, he can see what I'm seeing just on a little smaller screen. But he's
like, hey, I'm watching that.
Well, it's like you see these they always have the before shot, which is never flattering, and then they have the people working out that look great, and they're never the same people. But I was kind. I was like, it is what it is. I got to have conversation and catch up with my aunt and uncle. So.
Matt does make
seriously, they could have been. At some point, they played "Time" by Pink Floyd because I remember that, and it was just like, it has these people like working out and doing like hardcore, and then these photographs of the past as they're like flashing.
That's where employees just don't care.
Because
how would you not? Not know. I don't. Go ahead.
I think we were ahead of the NFL game. There was either the 4:30 game on what day was that? Saturday.
Well, that's where Buffalo's game got canceled.
Oh, did it?
Or delayed.
Okay.
Because there was so much
shit ton of snow. Yeah.
Well, they finally put on the Kentucky game, which was actually a nail biter, and I never found out who won that game. They were playing.
Kentucky lost, I think.
They were playing A&M.
I think A&M won the game,
and it went in. Did they? It went into overtime as we were leaving, and I was like, "Well, I'm never going to find out the answer to this."
I did think that it was cool with the Bills, though. What they ended up doing is that they knew that the Bill fanatic fans were going to show up, but they knew that a lot of people were not going to come sit in 2 feet of snow. But they just said anyone's welcome to come in and sit wherever you want, and so like you could sit where. I thought like that's cool. How awesome would that be? Just go.
I was watching. I go, okay, where did they? Because the snow, they just before game time, you see people wading in through the snow to get to a seat. I go, where did all the snow go? I mean, did they throw it over into? Did they shove it into the? Where'd it go?
Well, I saw a clip earlier in the day because like a lot of the fans had like a system, they had like a chute system to where they were shoveling it into the steps going up to the seats, and then
but still that's a lot of snow.
It was going down towards the field,
Truckloads.
and they were trucking it out.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that you see them actually wading in. I mean, they're having to walk through snow to get to a seat. It was crazy. But then you see videos of people in the they couldn't walk down the stairs, so they had to slide down the stairs because they were so icy they didn't want to fall. And see people boom, 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 going all the way down.
That's how you break your collarbone, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I
or
was
your
going
tailbone.
back to Matt's restaurant thing. Years ago, Dell and I, we went skiing in Reno, in the area there. And so we go walking out. It's like 9 degrees. We go to a pizza place. And they're showing on the TV, they're showing people that are starving as you're eating. I'm like going, okay, I don't want to be in. I go, so I finally asked somebody at work. I go, hey, can you guys change the channel? They go, why? I go, hey, I'm having trouble eating my pizza while people are dying.
Yeah,
from
starving.
I go, I don't want to be, that person, but can you change the channel?
We were literally eating fried food and burgers. The other problem was they brought the nachos out way too late. Like they should have cooked the burgers, then made the nachos or something like that. But and so then when they brought out the nachos, it's like, just bring it out. Stop vaping with your boyfriend or whatever the fuck you were doing.
We got pancakes. She didn't bring syrup. I go, because we finally got silverware, but I go, can I get some syrup? She goes, okay, yeah.
Sure.
And so like 3 or 4 minutes to come back. I'm like going, oh, the whole thing of pancakes is.
I can hear her now, like going back in the back. You know, that Lobot guy is just so demanding.
That's all over my table. He just keeps asking for shit. I don't understand why.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, I mean, like at the same time though, like you're going to Cracker Barrel. I know, no offense to the Cracker Barrel, and no offense to the people who love to go to the Cracker Barrel, but it's not really known as a place you go to for great service.
Hey,
No.
I've had great service. Again,
yeah. I've had crappy and I've had good,
I just, it's, I get it. I'm not expecting 5-star.
No. It's
But
it's a cheap,
I do need a fork.
meat and
He
drink.
keeps asking for pork chops, but they're not even on the menu. What's his problem?
You know where you got to
pork
go.
chops are on them. They do have pork chops.
I think you're getting confused, Chris, with Waffle House because I don't see the smoker in the Cracker. I definitely see the smokers at the Waffle House.
Every single waiter or waitress rips cigarettes. And that's a known thing.
Yeah.
Where like if they have 4 tables, 5 tables, maybe they have 6 tables, and they all just got their food was delivered. They checked in, everyone's got their drinks. You fucking run out the back.
Oh yeah, you hotbox
crush
shit,
a cigarette
man.
really quick. You
I've
hotbox the shit out of a cigarette. You
Well,
can run back in. You
Nick
pretend like you
brought up
don't
Waffle
smell,
House and
but you
smoking.
do.
I've seen the cook.
Oh
with
yeah,
a cigarette like this going.
just hanging out.
I'm only going.
Well, that's what.
That's
like,
when I knew I was in North Carolina.
It was a YouTube clip, like probably 5, 6, maybe even 10 years ago. That was hilarious. It's somebody on YouTube first complaining about Waffle House. Like she's like, "Oh my god, it was the nastiest, grossest thing I'd ever seen. People had their hair. Like I had found hairs in my food." And all of a sudden, the other guy interrupts. She's like, "Bitch, it's Waffle House. You go to Waffle House for that shit.
You go for the extra stuff."
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I saw a guy cooking my scrambled eggs with his fingers one time. They're just doing this shit. That's yuck.
I've only been to Waffle House, I think, once, maybe twice, and they're both. We went to Raleigh.
You know,
there's the one near the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the one where the lady was. That's the one where she is.
Yeah.
I still wish I would have gone to
Cindy and
First
I's
Watch.
first
Don't-
meal
don't tell Dan.
in Raleigh was at the Waffle House. I know I've told the
Nice.
story before because when we walked in, the waitress asked, "Are you sure you want to eat here?" And I'm like going, because there was nothing in Raleigh, and there was, and it
We
was from
haven't
the scene of
passed
Animal House.
inspection in 5 years.
And it was like, okay,
Do you really want to
Like
eat
a-
here?
she goes, "Are you sure you want to eat here?" Because,
Right.
I
They
went.
found rat tears in the
There's
pancakes.
another
all
reason
last
why,
night.
All the food in the back's expired,
but then that's where I first had grits because I said,
Oh.
I want to try some grits. Are you
Right.
sure?
You-
I go,
you
yeah.
got-
She goes,
yeah,
just
you
put
got a
some-
plain,
put
didn't
some
you?
sugar on. And I go, okay.
And then you
Yeah.
were like, "Can you say kiss my grits? Could you
Yeah.
do that for
Kiss
me?"
my grits.
I remember when Lirio and Christine came down from Canada, and that's what Christine wanted was grits, and her making the typical non-Southern mistake. She's like, "Oh, I'll just get them plain this time, be safe." I was like, "No, that's the worst way to get them. You never get them plain. You get them with some cheese, and
I'm sharing my drawing. I don't care.
Oh, it's a sunset over the water.
Well, this is
Oh, a moon. It's a moon, isn't it?
or is it a hot cake?
Is it a hot cake?
Boom.
This story isn't really that interesting, but it's similar to like appetizers at a restaurant. So on my way back out to Colorado from Tennessee, in the winter break, sometimes I definitely love small town USA because you can get a shit ton of food for nothing. And this was one of those situations where I went just a bar and grill, and I sat down at the bar. I think the Lions were playing, and I was like, I'll start with an appetizer, and I saw chips and queso for $5.99. And
usually it's free.
It's free. Yeah, I don't know who would.
No, chips
charge.
and queso aren't free. Chips and salsa, maybe. Queso, you're paying for.
Did you not get the reference, Chris?
No.
This is one of our verses. Anyway, so yeah.
Carry on.
Yes. So but most waiters in a situation where it's one guy at the bar and you say, I will have chips and queso, will say, hey, this is a group platter of chips and queso before you allow you to order it. And so I go, oh, yeah, because it's $5.99. So I'm like, oh, that's nothing. That's probably just a little bread basket worth of chips and queso, kind of like chips and sauce or whatnot. And she brings me out a fucking wheel of chips and a bowl of queso.
A chip and queso charcuterie board.
Yeah, it's basically what it was. It's just a big fucking platter of chips and
You can't see it. This is
no, I can't see it.
queso
I see it.
chips.
Yeah, and they were damn good. But I laughed as soon as she gave it to me. I just started laughing, like, how the fuck am I gonna eat all this?
Now, where was this?
Somewhere in the middle of Kansas, like a little bitty town. Somewhere around, it was somewhere around Salina, which is right in the middle of Kansas. Just on my drive.
Were you in Dodge?
No, Dodge is in the southwest
Dodge
side. I've been to Dodge.
Have you been to Dodge?
I don't recommend Dodge.
Did you
I
get
was
the
told
hell
to get
out of it?
Dodge.
Yeah, Dodge smells like cow shit and not much to
I wonder if
offer.
people that
Same thing
live
with
in
bacon.
Dodge ever say that. Like, they're just like, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, Dodge. But anyway, what made me I laughed even louder at her when she still sees, like, an hour later, I've eaten half of this wheel of chips and queso, and then she goes, "Well, you got room for anything else?" And I was like, "What the fuck do you think, lady? You think like,
Yeah, bring me some cheesecake.
yeah."
It's great to find those places that haven't actually suffered like inflation yet, right?
Right.
It's like you go, you spend, like you said, $6. There's a place down the street from here called the Beef Barn, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You go in there and get like
Is that where Norm used to go?
You pick out your cow.
No.
Well,
So
yeah.
in this area, there's the this is gonna sound, I'm just gonna myself up here for the peanut gallery, but the roast beef three-way.
Never heard of that.
It's a Boston original. It's like North Shore Boston has what we call the roast beef three-way, and the three-way is simply an onion roll toasted with roast beef, cheese, and barbecue sauce. That's the roast beef three-way.
Barbecue sauce.
And
They come with pineapple.
no pineapple. But that is like, I actually had that for dinner tonight. I grabbed it on my way home from a different place. But it's kind of like it's a regional thing for us. It's really good. Like, it's really, really good. But there's this place called the Beef Barn, and it's like you go in there, you get the roast beef sandwich. If you get cheese, it's $5.99 for the sandwich.
Yeah.
And it's like, $2 for French fries, $2.50 for a salad, and 99 cents for a drink. And so I went there for lunch last week.
Can I
20 years ago,
interrupt?
prices,
$12.
Yeah.
I got a roast beef sandwich, three-way, French fries, and a salad and a drink for $12.
People are saying that should be the title of the episode.
Roast beef three-way.
Roast
Yeah.
beef three-way. Okay. But yeah,
Wait. Can we take a commercial break?
Oh, right. Okay.
Sure.
No.
Jackson Glaffelder was.
This episode brought to you by Roast Beef Three-Way. Come and get yours.
I actually
It's
had Kelly's
Arby's,
roast
man.
beef tonight.
That's even my little podunk hometown, which I love. It's the same way. Like, there's 2, maybe 3 bar and grills in my entire hometown, and it's one of those places where if I just went and ordered a Bud Heavy bottle, it would be $1.50 or $2 for the bottle.
Right.
And you're like, yes, that's what it should be. I don't want to pay $4.50 or $5 for one bottle of beer. I could get a 6-pack for that. Well, not anymore, but I basically could.
That's why going to the any sporting event. It's ridiculous what it costs to go to a sporting event.
Oh yeah, you go to
$20 for
you go
a
to-
beer.
yeah.
You're like going, okay, and then they want a tip.
yeah, that's what ball arena. Where the
Ball Arena.
Ball arena. Yeah, exactly. You have Coors Heavy, you have Coors Light, you have Blue Moon, and there's another one too. But they're all 24-ounce cans. They're huge cans. But yeah, you're gonna be it's $20 a can.
And, but then they hand you the beer, and then they go, "Can you sign here?" Because you're paying with a card. Tip.
Right.
And you're like going,
Fuck
right,
you.
am I
You
giving
took it
this
out
guy
of the fridge and gave it to
15%?
me.
Am I giving this 15% because he handed me a beer?
It's
And I
gotten
do.
ridiculous. Yeah. It's gotten ridiculous. I mean, that never really happened to me much until I lived in California, and it was everywhere. Every little thing they wanted you to tip them, and I was like, "Well, it's California. They don't make shit anyway. We're all poor."
There was
but
a
then-
moment where I was in a retail establishment just recently, and I was like, okay, they got a new system here. Please don't make me tip you because you're just my comic book shop. Like, can I just buy them?
So I just bought a 6-month membership for my local car wash. Right. It's wintertime in New England,
Right.
salt, all the shit in the roads.
That brine gets everywhere.
Right. new car, so I want to make sure I
Right.
maintain it. Right.
Yeah.
So I got, the $350, I think it was, for 6 months, unlimited car washes, which
It's called a
includes like
6-month Threeway.
the ceramic shield and hot wax and all that bullshit.
Get
Um,
my wax, man.
But the thing is, I can go literally every day and wash my car if I want to, which is cool. But they've got the people
You
who
get it all
will-
sudsy. You lather it
will-
up.
yeah.
Oh, the people
But
there.
the
They
people
want
at the end,
You ever
they
seen the
will
movie Cool Hand Luke?
hand dry your car with the rags, and it's like you have to fucking tip them. Like there's
You
no
mean-
way around it. You can't get past them. You can't deny the service. They're gonna come over and hand dry your car. They even set up a
My
fucking
zeal.
Venmo, so you can
Oh,
sit in your
shit.
car and scan the Venmo on their
Can you
little
give them
cart.
Bitcoin or Doge?
Sure, why not? But yeah.
It's
So
not clear.
I paid $350 for my subscription or my membership. I'm still gonna pay like $2 to $5 depending on how quickly I can get out of there when they dry my car off.
No hand dry. No hand dry. Like you just
Yeah.
and then dry it.
Brazilian wax.
It was
Yes.
Brazilian wax. Yeah. Jack brought up a good point there about Cool Hand Luke. Have you seen Cool Hand Luke? The blonde who's actually washing her car in a thin dress, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you have
With
the
suds
actor-
and
the suds
and
are all
she's-
over her, and
they're in jail. They're in prison.
they're in prison
Yeah.
watching this blonde wash the car.
Yeah.
Mm,
Wash
yeah.
the car with her whole
Definitely
with her
risque
body.
for the mid '60s. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's Lucille. Girl like that gotta have that name like Lucille.
Oh, let it go.
Sherry asks, has any Tesla
Right.
charging issues in the Boston cold? No, because we have something up here that some of these other places don't have. That's infrastructure. The amount of because of Chris, those workers are going from rags. Hey, nice, good one. That's a nice
There you
dad
go.
joke. No, we have there's actually quite a few supercharging stations in the area, in addition to actual like other non-Tesla charging stations. So no, it's actually been pretty good.
But you
I
just
also
mostly
have
test
a-
yours at home, right? Chargers at home.
Actually, I actually, Chicago is fucked. Chicago, I saw some pictures that people are literally like legitimately like abandoning their cars because they can't drive them
right.
because it's so
Mm.
cold. But yeah, it's not that bad here. I actually haven't been charging it at my house all that much. I can,
Mm.
but because I get free supercharging miles
right.
for buying the car, and I'd be a fool to not use them.
Right.
And I've got the mobile connector too. So like when I go to work in my parking garage, they've got 110 outlets in there, and I can plug in and get 15% of my battery charged up while I'm working and
That's nice.
drive home. So I try to use other people's energy as much as I possibly can.
Fuck yeah.
Typical men.
But when the summertime months come along, there's more sun as opposed to like having sun for 45 minutes a day, which feels like I'll have the solar panels rocking so I can charge on solar, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying it got fucking cold here. Like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it never broke 7 degrees in the daytime, and at night it was getting around like -22. It was cold.
Yeah.
Can I just like clarify something? Because I hear this term, it's fucking cold. Theoretically, like fucking is not cold, right?
Well, you
So-
haven't. You're with a good woman then.
Oh, okay.
It's and
So-
to the point, it's actually unseasonably warm for what it should be right now.
In Boston, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, it got cold. I mean, for us,
got cold
We've been in
today.
this single and digits, and so
Well, this
and then
Friday, it's
with the wind chill. That's
I think this Friday it's supposed to get down to like 38, and the lows like in the teens. A week from this Friday, it's gonna be 71. I'm like going.
Yeah.
So I because I always watch the weather. This on YouTube, the weather reports they predict what's going to be like for the winter. They were predicting heavy snow for the east, and the south was going to have like record snow, and then because El Nino, but then El Nino changed. It's just going to be wet.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I mean,
like going-
shit.
So we're not going to get any snow.
Knoxville got 12
Well,
inches of snow, which is extremely rare.
Yeah, I saw the people.
El Nino should actually be bringing more snow than La Nina, which is the last 3 years
Yeah,
with
but
La
they
Nina.
said something happened to change it to make it just
You know what it is? I was actually listening to someone talk about this morning, and a big, a huge impact on this crazy weather patterns is that volcano that erupted 2 years ago. The
really?
Hungatonga volcano. You remember that the news that happened? It's a fucking huge ass volcano that erupted.
Mm-hmm.
It's causing some significant like weather pattern changes throughout the world because of
they
the
always
amount
do.
of
The amount of
it's
carbon dioxide that gets released.
Carbon dioxide in moisture as well. Like that's why we had so much rain. I mean, we had more rain, in this past summer than we've had probably in like the last 5 springs. So that's why everything is all underwater up here, and all the leaves changed like within 2 days and fell. We didn't really have like a real fall. It went from pretty much summer to winter within an instant. But yeah, it's crazy. I bought this fucking sweet snowblower 3 years ago. I've only used it like 5 times.
I was going to say, I think it's your fault because you bought that snowblower and it hasn't snowed.
It's true.
If you hadn't done that, we wouldn't have global warming.
I know, right? Let's just go buy more shit.
See, I like a little bit of snow. I like, once in a while.
I like snow.
I'm a traditional Southerner that I like it when it snows the first time. Like I'm happy, like, hey, look, it's snowing, and I like it there, and then I want it gone. I don't want to see it again for like another year. But then here, I don't really have that option. It basically snows from November.
I know. When we first moved here, it would snow, and we'd be out of work for a couple of weeks because you couldn't drive on the roads because they were frozen.
Yeah, they don't have like. I remember when I probably told the story before, but I went to the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia, in 2000. The greatest show on turf. I got to go to that Super Bowl, which is awesome. But we haven't been able to leave our houses in Miami because it's 63 degrees outside. Fuck you.
Well, they showed that graphic with that. They showed because Miami Dolphins played Kansas City, and it was like minus whatever degrees in Kansas City. And then they showed Miami. They said it's like 63, 64 degrees. They said, people are freezing in Miami.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I was in Atlanta for that Super Bowl, and they had like an ice storm, which was like a Tuesday night in New England. Like no big deal, right?
Right.
It was just like sleet and freezing rain. Well, that was a Super Bowl weekend. The entire fucking city like shat themselves.
Yeah.
Like they had to bring like plow trucks and sanders in from DC and all like the states above. And my dad and I like drove people around in the shuttle bus because they didn't know how to drive.
Right.
But also all the trucks and all the SUVs and like all the off-road vehicles down south are all 2-wheel drive. Like no one buys 4-wheel drive SUVs and trucks down there.
In Atlanta, I can see it. Yeah.
It's Atlanta. That happens here when it gets really icy.
It's because like you just I get it. It's kind of like when people talk about how like LA people don't know how to drive in the rain, and I never understood why people say that until you actually live there. And it's because it never rains, so you have years or months of oil just on the road, and so as soon as it gets wet, it's just slickered shit. And and it's the same thing as like when it snows in the South. We don't have salt trucks. We don't have any of that stuff. So you're kind of fucked until it goes away.
They put Brian on
I was
going
to say, the last time we've had a decent snow here because was the year that I broke my collarbone.
So you jinxed it.
Because we had a lot of sledding here.
With the jeans, yeah.
And then the following year, we only got a little bit because I remember I only had a chance to go out, just like 1 or 2 times, and got the feel for it. And then, like this year we haven't had any. Like we had a dusting, but there's not enough. Like it would be horrible.
We had a dusting. So I told
we had
don't get any snow in February. It's not going to happen.
We got almost a foot last week, and it was like everyone was freaking out about it, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And then we got like a random 3-inch snowstorm yesterday, the day before, that no one planned for, and it was like fuck. And then by the time I got home, it was too late to clean off the driveway. Now I've got like the Hoth battle scene in my driveway with trenches of snow and ice, for crying out loud. But that was for Matt. I know you like that one, bud. He's not listening.
What's up?
He's drawing.
Nothing.
Yeah, this is where I'm at currently on this drawing. I've included
beer cans being thrown into the sun. Oh, he's Matt. I
Nice
think we lost your
cans, dude.
mic. I think Matt, if you're talking, I think we lost your mic.
I think he's just showing us.
Oh, okay.
I did start watching a season 3 of Upload. I'm struggling with it.
Yeah, it's not as good.
I mean, I don't know if it's because it's it's what, been 2 years since the last.
It was a year and 5 months, I think, from season 2 to season 3.
I didn't mute him.
Matt?
No, he's figuring it out. Nope.
Oh yeah, we can barely hear you. So either your mic came unplugged or
What about now?
there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somehow I messed with it down here under the undershaft.
Right in the base.
Oh,
The undershaft on the base. I can
Oh,
turn it
the
down
balls.
and then I can
You
turn
gotta-
it.
yeah, don't forget your cradle. Yeah.
Turn it up, but I don't want to be too high. You know.
Don't
So-
be Chris.
Don't forget to mind the SLR cables.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just finished the 3rd episode, fourth episode, something. That's like I don't.
I can't remember. I know I watched all of season 3, and it's not that bad. It's just
I've laughed a couple times, but it's kind of,
Yeah.
it's not like the first 2 seasons. Where
It's
I would
not the
just be
same. It's
laughing.
not the same. I mean, I really loved the first season because it's all new, and I liked where they were going with it.
What show? What show are you talking about?
Upload.
Upload.
On
Okay.
Amazon.
Yeah, I need to.
But
check that out.
I think they just waited to. Cause I'm trying to remember what happened. I'm like, I watched the recap.
COVID.
I'm like going,
Yeah, because season 2 is short because they produced all the episodes until that, and they quit.
That's right.
And then they waited to release season 2 because they weren't sure how long it was going to go. And then it was only like a half a season. And then they waited like another year and 5 months before season 3. So it was just like,
Yeah,
really,
there's not enough to keep you. I mean, I just don't know. I can't remember. I go, oh, that's right. This guy's. But I don't know. And then Reacher. I'm all cut up with Reacher, but
I've never watched Reacher. Yeah.
Reach around.
The problem with
I was
Reacher
thinking about
is
starting. Oh, good.
it's good. I mean, if you like it's just all out violence and stuff like that. But like the other day, there's a car chase, and I think it's in New York. Well, there's no other cars on the road. Now, even in Raleigh, I could be driving around,
First Jack,
and there'll be another car on the road. I don't know.
yeah.
And they don't. And when they go kill somebody, they don't use gloves in the house, so they're putting their fingerprints all over the place.
It's like you've
know
watched
this,
Dexter,
you know this from experience.
so-
Yeah, well, you should wear gloves if you're going to kill somebody. You want to leave.
If
obviously
they don't fit, you must
have
quit.
quit.
Yeah.
Well, Reacher, they probably would. The guy is mammoth. The guy is fucking huge. The actor.
Yeah. You know what's funny? He got his start on American Idol.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a singer.
He's a singer. And then he got cast in a few bit roles. And he was Aquaman on Smallville. I remember that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying he's
Massive.
juicing, but the guy is just.
Of course he's fucking juicing. Are you serious? Come on. That's not real.
It's like any scene he comes in with a t-shirt, you can tell he goes, okay, let me do some reps before I film the scene because his veins are just popping in his arms. It's like going, and people challenge him to fights. I go, come on. There's nobody in their right minds. And anybody in the real world goes, yeah, I'm going to kick your ass. All right. Hey, I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not.
If Rocky can beat Ivan
Drago,
yeah.
Well, there's a difference though. Rocky had the Russians behind him, cheering him on.
Only after like the 10th round.
Well, because he stood up to him. He's like a tank,
Bet against
a greasy
Rocky?
Italian tank.
An Italian tank. How many wars have the Italians won lately?
I'm just saying that's a line in the movie.
Oh,
Are
One
you
of the
saying
Rockies.
you bet against Rocky in a Rocky movie? You know what that movie's references?
I know I've heard it. I can't think of
It's
it.
from Dirty Work.
Dirty Work.
I
It's
love
Chevy Chase because he plays a role of his doctor, and doctor's out of money because he bet against Mr. T. Oh no, he bet against Rocky, is saying that Mr. T was gonna
Nice.
or Thunderlips, one of the two.
Thunderlip, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Thunderlips
but he's
does
just a
beat.
degenerate
Thunderlips-
gambler. He's
Well,
going the odds against
Mr. T does beat Rocky.
He does.
No, it was the Hulk Hogan one, I think.
Thunderlips. Well, that was a draw.
It was a draw.
But the scene was about like how he was a degenerate gambler and
That's-
like he was
But
gambling on
and
fucking
a
Rocky.
draw is not a win. Like
No.
that's
Yeah,
a third
it's
option.
a
You
bust.
know, like
Yeah,
bust.
that's a 3-way roast beef sandwich or whatever.
Roast
There you
beef,
go.
three-way.
It's
Delicious.
the Boston Three-Way.
The Boston Three-Way. The three-way roast
Yeah, but
beef.
that's about all I've watched. I just go.
I mean, go ahead, man. Sorry.
I've been on a bit of a British sitcom kick, so that's been kind of my
Now,
jam. So
I brought this up before. Have you watched Coupling?
I am watching Coupling. I'm actually watching a slew of British shows.
Ooh,
actually,
Blue.
Yeah, I'm having a smashing good time.
Yeah.
I started watching Black Book.
Hey, Black
Black-
yeah.
Yeah, that's been pretty enjoyable. And then I'm so I finished Peep Show, which has the guy that kind of looks like Nick. It's like the British
yeah.
Nick. Which, by the way, I forgot what happened to him by season 9. So I'm sorry for any comparisons to Nick as his character. But so then after that, I started jumping into a lot of different ones, and sometimes the pilots are rough. So you're just kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with this.
What's the language barrier?
There's like certain humor that you're just kind of like, huh? Like you're clearly making a joke about something that I have no clue about. But I like that. It's just like it's very fun.
Well, you have the
And we've
cock,
talked
right?
about this before, but I'm not
You
sure
have
if
the
you've
cock, right?
What's up?
Peacock.
You have the cock.
Have you
I do.
have you
I do
watched
have the cock.
the IT crowd?
Wait. Watch Code 404. I'm telling you. I've
Code-
mentioned this 100 times.
Okay, code 404.
Or
And
the cock.
I just have to say, code what?
404.
404. Okay. Chris, to your point, yes, an IT crowd is one that I'm going back to as well, just because it's such a good show.
Such a good show.
One of the best episodes, maybe of like it ranks so high is the episode where they go to a musical. I don't know if you guys remember that, but they go to a musical and he pretends to be handicapped to use the bathroom.
Nice.
And then Moss pretends to be the staff. And meanwhile, what is her name? Jen? It's not Jen, is it? I can't remember her name. Sorry. No offense to the
Yeah, it's
character. Is it? Okay. Yeah, I'm disabled. Yeah, the disabled part is just
What show is
such a
this?
riot. And
IT crowd.
it's called the
crowd.
IT crowd.
IT crowd.
It's so good.
The character Moss also kind of reminds me of when you and Sherry were talking about there's characters that just stand out in a show and you just kind of like, and his character in that show is just like, it's like Sheldon on Big Bang. It just like fits like a puzzle piece. It doesn't work without him. But man, that episode, going back and watching that, and the fact that they're like
British show?
trying to tell her that the guy that she's going out on a date with is gay. And then there's like all of these red flags, and then they're like, the musical is called Gay. It's just so hilarious. It's worth a watch if you haven't heard of IT Crowd. I
Is it
would
British show?
recommend that. What's up?
Oh,
show.
118-999-988-1-999-119-752.
What network is it on?
3.
3.
That is a brilliant episode as well. So
What network?
I've been
I don't
watching
think it is.
I've been watching things on Roku channel or BritBox.
It is on Roku.
So,
I don't
but
know.
I think it's on
No,
Roku
I
channel.
would like to now. And I now want to rewatch IT crowd.
IT Crowd is pretty hilarious.
You
So
see-
Hello, IT.
You've watched Red Dwarf too, right, Matt?
I have not watched Red Dwarf.
That'd be right up your alley.
There's been some sci-fi stuff that I've kind of put on, but I've also been kind of having a laugh. So I've been watching kind of more of the been watching more of the sitcom based BBC shows. And
BBC America.
it's been my background jam as of lately. So I can't recommend IT Crowd. I'm glad that Chris brought that up, because I just watched that episode today as I've been working.
So good.
I've been, if you wonder why I haven't posted, making artwork or anything like that, I've been documenting a lot of work lately. So that's kind of been my thing. So as I work on the website and just figuring out all of the artwork that I own. So,
and then I assume you've seen the modern Sherlock with Cumberbatch. And,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yep. I've watched Sherlock for sure. So, but yeah, there's something about BBC shows that it's a whole other
You always go back and do
vernacular.
Doctor Who.
So I watched Doctor Who with my kids. They were curious about Doctor Who, and we watched the first season. And the first season of the
was that the six? Was that
no
the
of the
2005.
no, of the new the 2005.
With Rose and
we'll say the
mannequin.
modern era. The modern
Mannequin
era.
one?
The modern era,
Yes,
yeah.
the mannequin one. And it was interesting because
with Kim Cattrall?
that season
No.
that season one it's kind
mannequin.
of I know it's not season one, but it's
Thanks, Chris, for
technically
playing
of
along.
the modern era of Doctor Who.
Yeah. Right.
If you've seen that season, the Christopher Eccleston Doctor, you'll know that the way that it ends in such a way that is really satisfying for the whole season. It's like that episode has such payoff for the whole show. And I think it's the first time that my kids have really kind of witnessed that, like Lost would have those moments, right? Where it would just kind of tie things together or be grand in that way. And I think that final episode for season 1 does it in such a way that my kids were kind of
It's how many episodes per season?
So
Well,
It's a lot, isn't it?
yeah.
The Stephen,
I know it's
the
a lot of
Stephen
seasons,
Moffat
but how many
era
episodes per
of
season?
Doctor.
Stephen Moffat's brilliant.
Yeah.
The stuff that
That's why-
he's done.
Yeah.
That's why you were
it's
recommending Coupling.
Yeah, Coupling.
Yeah.
I'd watched Coupling first. I had heard about it from somebody, and I was like, I want to watch this show, and I loved it. There's only 4 seasons of it. It's a really quick show to get through. And then even in the last season, one of the characters wears a Bring Back Doctor Who shirt, and then sure enough, that show ended in 2004, and then Doctor Who started in 2005, and so
Nice.
and then he wrote all the early of the new era of Doctor Who, the classic stuff.
The Tennant era as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, the I'll continue with Coupling for sure, but I've been kind of just juggling a lot of different shows around.
Yeah, to me, the second season of Coupling is the best.
Okay.
Because the first season has 6 episodes, and those are the best written episodes. But season 2 is when the characters really knew their characters, and the jokes are just so really good. Season 3 is right there with it. And then the best character, though, sadly, and Coupling left after season 3.
Okay.
And so season 4 is good. It's got a couple of really good episodes in it, but it's just not
Yeah.
there.
Shows can do that too, I think, as they go on. I did that Peep Show rewatch, which has several seasons, and certain characters, it's like there's a period that's my favorite for certain shows. It's like you've mentioned, Nick, several times with Friends. It's like Friends, this is a high point, this is where it should have ended on. And I can see the similarities between Coupling and Friends.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you go into watching Coupling thinking it's going to be Friends, then
it's not. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's similar to Friends in that there's 3 guys, 3 girls. It's not a coffee shop; it's a bar. And it has the same kind of will they, won't they, and then you have the good looking one, you have the goofy one, you have the serious one. It's the same setup, but it's a different show. And I really loved Coupling because like I said, that's the show that really, in my mind, got me out of the traditional American sitcom of the 26 episodes and all that. It's Coupling did it in 7 episodes roughly per season, 4 seasons, and they told a great story. Just do it, get out. And I was and that's exactly to me what a show should be.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing about British television.
Yeah.
Is the seasons are.
Yeah. I mean, to me, you can go back and watch Coupling very quickly in a single day if you wanted to. And it's like, yeah, great show. Whereas I'm like, I'm not going to go and watch all 10 seasons of Friends. It's just not going to happen.
Why not?
Right. Yeah. It's like you can have a satisfying meal almost by watching those seasons. So, and IT Crowd is similar too, because I think they're like six episodes a season. So, and I think there's four
I wonder if the
seasons.
actors prefer that. I've never heard anybody, a British actor, say I prefer just filming 6 just because I could go do something else.
Well, I think it depends on the kind of actor you are, because like I can never do something like Grey's Anatomy, for example, because it's just like, God, shoot me. But, I think, it's like the Johnny Depp thing. It's like, I don't want to be the same character for 5 years of my life.
Right.
But if you're doing a British BBC type show, it's like, oh, I worked 2 months on this show. I did 6 episodes, and I can move on to a movie. I can do this in the year and then come back to the character. And that's how I would want to work. I wouldn't want to.
Well, how many times you see an American actor have to turn, like, Tom Selleck? He had to turn down Indiana Jones because of Magna PI, but then Magna PI was put on hold, I think, for a writer. There was something happened where he could have done the part and still done Magna PI, but he couldn't get it. It's just crazy. I was watching something, the original Jennifer for
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. She was tied with Eric Stoltz.
Right.
Well, she lost her job with going back and forth, and then when they recast, she didn't get the part because she was doing a series. That series got canceled, but then something happened. No, I think Eric Stoltz got fired, and that girl was connected. The one that replaced her was connected to Eric Stoltz, and then they brought her back in for that, but then they got rid of her again for Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, well, you look at. It's funny how you brought it Back to the Future. I was going to as well, because you look at both Back to the Future and Die Hard. I mean, it's just that era of where both Michael J. Fox and Bruce Willis shot most of their scenes in the first movies at night because they were shooting their TV shows in the daytime. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's like, God, I can't imagine, because like I think it's in the documentary that Matt or Jack, one of y'all recommended, Still with Michael J. Fox. Isn't that the name of it? He talks about that, like how his days were grueling shooting Back to the Future, and then
Family Ties. He had a huge role in Family.
Yeah,
he wasn't just a good player in Family. He was the main guy in Family.
And
Ties.
I mean, with some shows like with The Office, where Andy wanted to go off, like Ed Helms was like, "Well, I'm doing Hangover Part 3. See ya." Like I'm not gonna be, and so they could write in certain things. They could juggle it. But yeah, Michael J. Fox, like that's why and the '80s. Factory of like,
25 shows, 26 shows, whatever they did back then. It was crazy. But yeah.
What? Oh, it
Michael
was
J. The father from Growing Pains. Michael J. Fox's father in Growing Pains.
Yeah.
He was in Suits. Boom.
Oh.
Another connection to Suits.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Nice.
Well, for one season-ish.
I always like. I can't think of the movie. I think is it Stuck on You. I think the movie with Greg Kinnear and Matt Damon, where there's Siamese twins.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I always laugh. Like there's one I always thought was funny. Like the only agent they can get, is like this old agent from like the 70s. And then when they get him on the show with Cher, like the agent comes in, he's like, I'm not taking no for an answer. They're gonna get $5,000 an episode, or their walk. And the course all the producers like, all right, cool. It's like,
Mommy Mike says the actress, she told the studio she wouldn't be available for any sequels.
Oh,
that's why Elizabeth Shue replaced her.
I saw her interview.
Big mistake.
It was,
and I believe she was taking care of her mother who was dying or something like that.
Oh, that was
the reason why she didn't come back. Yeah.
I mean, but you look at her career though in the late 80s, especially because right after that she had Cocktail.
You're talking about Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue, yeah, she had a lot of movies.
Yeah,
after Back to the Future, so she really didn't need it. But I can't even think of, aside from the season 1 of what am I forgetting it?
The Boys.
The Boys, yeah. You don't really see her much anymore because, like, the last movie I remember her being a major actor was
Adventures in Babysitting.
No, the Saint in '97 with Val Kilmer.
Oh my God, yeah,
that's a great.
Oh, wasn't she in Hollow Man?
She wasn't Hollow. Yeah, and that's like 2001, I think. So yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I think it's Hollow Man might be 98 or 99. but it's somewhere in that area.
She had a pretty questionable scene in that movie. I won't forget.
We didn't see anything. I think she's wearing a white bra, if I remember. But
That when they were talking about the Emmys, someone's about being snubbed and stuff. They said Michael J. Fox was only nominated once and never won an Emmy.
That's wild.
So
I know how that's possible. Spin
sometimes
City
it
and
is absolutely
Family
right.
Ties and
What were you saying, Nick?
Nick Freeze.
Last known photograph. Nick,
We
if
lost
you
him.
see this man, contact the FBI.
Jackson Glaufer, Grey's Anatomy entering its 20th season.
That's crazy.
Somebody loves it. I just don't get it.
But going what you were saying, Jack, it's tragic how some actors never get their dues, when it comes to an award, because I even though like we're going back to Martin Scorsese, like even though I really like The Departed and I would gladly watch it, but it's not clearly his best film. Like there's so many other movies he should have won Best Picture for before The Departed. But it's
that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, man. All right.
Well, Paul Newman was nominated how many times for an Oscar, and
yeah, he didn't win until 1988
for The Verdict, right? And
was it The Verdict?
Was The Verdict? Yeah,
I know he won.
He didn't show up.
He won for the Tom Cruise film.
Oh, Color of
Money. Yeah,
Color of Money.
Yeah.
Steve Carell never won for Michael Scott.
Speaking of Martin,
Still Jimmy.
did you see what's his name? Martin Lawrence, and how the cast of Martin went on stage during the Emmys and did like a really awkward like reenactment of the show. They like built the set of the show on stage.
Really?
And they're talking about how they never got an award or they got nominated for it or whatever. It was just it's fucking completely like out of place. They're like they put them on the stage to kind of like make fun of them for not ever winning an award or being nominated for an award.
Weird.
But you should check out the clip. It's really odd.
Huh.
And Martin Lawrence does not look good. And no, I'm being serious. Like, I think he might have a significant like health thing going on.
Oh, really?
Because he was like mumbling his words and shit too. It was not great.
That's sad.
Sad. I know they're making Bad Boys 4 right now, or maybe they already finished it.
Are they?
Yeah, Bad Boys, the third one was shit. So
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It looked like he had a stroke. Like he did not look right.
It was like Eddie
He
Money
sounded
before he died.
awful.
People were like, "Did Eddie Money?" That was a thing. Did Eddie Money have a stroke? Because
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
he did. Well, he did. It turned out he did. But I can't believe they're making a Bad Boy 4. I mean, they should have stopped at 1.
No, two's pretty good. 1 and 2 are good. The third one was Bad Boys for Life or Bad Boys, whatever. It's just
all special effects.
You can do it 2 cop shows, but the third one is hard to. It's like Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, both great.
Third one,
yeah.
Well,
was there a third one?
Yeah, it's in Disneyland or Disney World.
Yeah, it's like terrible. In a theme park, and
I don't think I've seen it.
It's good that you haven't. It's not.
I'm trying to remember the guy's name that reprises because it's Eddie Murphy and one of the cops from before.
Oh, Judge
Reinhold.
Yeah, Reinhold. Thank you.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, they're all, and they're making a 4th one, and they're all going to be in it as well. Of course, they all
really.
They all look fucking old as shit. Because
wait, 48 another Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 4. Yeah.
Well, the older guy can't be. Brian Cox is dead, right?
Brian Cox wasn't in.
Not Brian Cox. Ronnie Cox.
The guy. The dude that was in NYPD Blue.
The captain's not in it. No, it's just the 2 other cops that were his friends. And
really?
Yeah.
That guy's got to be old too.
They're all old. Yeah,
they're all old.
I mean,
it's going to be
even Judge's got to be at least 63.
They're going to be. He's going to have like a walker, and they're going to be doing bump 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 ba-dum, bump bump.
Who put a banana in my walker?
I got to say it a little bit. I ain't gonna fall for no banana in my tailpipe. But, that's what I mean. Like you get to a point where the characters just aren't believable anymore because it's like they should have never made a Dumb and Dumber 2 because it's like, look, no one's gonna believe Jim Carrey and
they can't be that dumb.
Yeah, exactly. At this age, how can you be that dumb?
Yeah,
but it happens.
I can't imagine. Jim Carrey doing anything like that he doesn't want to do. Like he just strikes me as a person that's just like at this point in his career, he's just like, I'm good.
I think
Like-
he's pretty much finished. Yeah, I think.
Like if he wants to do something, he'd do it. But
yeah, it'd have to be the
Exactly.
right, right
Mhm.
part.
He
you know?
made his money.
He did.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, and there's some people that make their money and they burn through it, and then there's some people that are smart with it.
Mhm.
And he strikes me as one of those people that.
So you're trying to say
He's
MC Hammer was not smart?
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I could be completely wrong. You know, I just like there's some people that it's clear that it's like, well, they have their money, and then if they want to do something, they'll do it. But you know,
for
you
an
don't
actor,
see-
I mean, I do kind of respect Jim Carrey because he was over the top for his comedy, but that's the way he was. But then when he said, "I'm going to do serious roles," I mean, you think
Mhm.
about Man on the Moon, you think about Eternal Sunshine, you think about
Truman
Show.
Mhm.
There's so many serious roles he took that you're like, "Fuck, he nailed that," and
Yeah, he's
not many
good.
actors can do that.
Yeah, I mean, he just seemed to like smartly transition, I guess, his career like into what he wanted it to be.
Tom
like,
Hanks is a perfect example. He went from that crazy loud guy to Philadelphia and Forrest Gump
But I always hated a little bit with Tom Hanks in the fact that once he won 2 Oscars, he I guess, like a lot of people who get an Oscar, they think, oh, I can no longer take these kind of scripts. I always have to take these kind of scripts that are up here. And it's like, no, man, like I want to see you just do something that's fun.
Do something funny again.
Yeah. And he never did. He's always just kind of taking a serious role from that point on. And it's like, come on, Tom.
he was in That Thing You Do. That was pretty. That was,
Well, there was
but,
that-
but the thing is, he wrote and produced that. It's a bit different.
That was like 25 years ago.
no, it was longer. Than
It was
that.
like 30. It was like 95.
30 years ago.
Yeah. It was like 95, 96. I think 96.
Thing you do.
Jesus
But yeah,
Christ.
I mean, come on. I want to
that one movie that he
Joe
was
versus
in was
Volcano,
a
too.
hilarious. It was a hilarious movie. That was Atlas Cloud. Like you couldn't take.
Oh my God, dude, that was terrible.
So
Yeah,
bad.
that was the point. Yeah.
I watched the first 45 minutes of that and I was like, nope. Off.
Okay.
Matt Case's Toy Stories.
Fair. He's been Woody. He gets
Yeah, but-
to use his voice for money. You know who is a really good voice actor? Is his name Ben Schwartz? So he's been in just a ton of different things. But anyway,
Ben Schwartz? Like, as in,
Yeah.
like,
I don't know if you guys have watched
John Ralphio?
yeah, John Ralphio.
Okay.
Yeah, like he's a great voice actor. He was in the DuckTales. I think he's one of the nephews. Yeah, and
He also did BB-8.
He provided some. Yeah, he provided some noises for BB-8.
I don't know if you guys have watched Invincible on Amazon.
Is the new season out yet?
Season 2's out. And they only released 4 episodes, so it's only like the first half of season 2. But you're gonna laugh, Chris, because in episode 3 and 4, I think it's in 4 too. There's a character or a cartoon character that like looks an alliance versus these other people, and the main guy is the voice of Optimus Prime, and so like as soon as he's doing it slightly different, but it's like you can't fool me, Optimus. I know your voice.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, what's his name? Peter Weller.
yeah. But you can hear him. I'm like, oh, that's Optimus.
Peter Weller from.
No, not Peter Weller.
That's the guy from.
You're thinking of
RoboCop.
Peter Sellers.
That's RoboCop. Hang on.
Pink Panther.
Miami Mike's right. Jim Carrey went out on top with Sonic
Peter
the
Cullen.
Hedgehog 2.
That's right. Yeah, Chris.
That was
Peter.
you could not top that performance. So I put it on
must
line
find
with like
the
being the
spark.
Riddler, you know.
Well, I remember Eddie Murphy when after he did Trading Places, he said, or it was maybe 48 hours, because 48 hours was his first one.
Yeah.
Then Trading Places second. Then he did Beverly. I think it was after Trading Places. He said, "I'm not going to be one of those actors that just does a movie for money." I'm not. And then he did a movie just for money. It was with Dudley Moore and some. It was bad.
Pluto Nash.
I always felt.
I remember that being like.
Well, that's later. Yeah. That's terrible though.
But I mean, he was still accountable up to
Dr.
that.
Dolittle.
I mean, that was really.
I always felt sorry for Eddie Murphy because people forget how young he was. But basically when 1990 hit, he was done. He was considered old, and he wasn't even 30 years old yet. And because like there's some movies I like. Usually, you think about Boomerang and the Distinguished Gentleman and a lot of stuff he did in the early 90s. They all just flopped one after the other.
But I liked them.
Yeah, exactly. I liked Distinguished Gentleman, and so but they just weren't.
Apparently, he's gone far off the deep end, though.
Wow.
I don't know if you heard about that at all. Like he's kind of gone a little crazy. So my buddy Dave was
like
actually
kids.
Yeah, my buddy Dave was in one of his movies. Well, the one that he has like a limited amount of words he can say. I forget what it's called.
Well, wasn't it you, Chris, that was talking about that? How like he's never, or I remember hearing someone saying that he was never on set unless he actually has a line. It's always a stand-in. Like he's never there.
You're exactly right. And then he's also mentioning that like there was something that was, I think they filmed it like on Liberty Island where the Statue of Liberty is.
Oh.
And like Dave was in a scene there for he's like an extra or a stuntman for a scene where he was saying like the boat came to pick him up to bring him back to the mainland. And because the boat's ladder didn't go all the way up to the dock, like he had to step down into the boat, he refused the ride and made them go back and get a bigger boat to come pick him up.
What?
Yeah. Like that type of like weird, crazy shit. Like he's kind of off his rocker.
Well,
power.
But how couldn't you be? I mean, going from those heights and then doing those drugs.
With drugs, yeah, that's what I was
You know what I mean? It's like drugs usually reinforce certain, I don't know, thought processes, and to do that at the height of his career, and so
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, it's like how you see stars where they go to a hotel room, but it has to be repainted to their favorite color, or
right.
It's like I would never. I'm just, of course, I'm not rich and famous, but it's just like I don't get it.
Well, yeah, it's like, who do you think you are? It's one of those, like,
I mean, Barbara Streisand was always rumored to be the person that had to have, I'm not going in that room. I'm not doing this. I have to do this. I have to do this. It's like,
well, I mean, I usually send like somebody out in front of me to like just check the chi of the room, and then I'm like, okay, it's cheat up.
Okay, all right. All right.
And then you don't even pay, do you, Matt? You just like do a quick little sketch and then sign your name and then just like
I did a quick
throw it out and go. This will be worth like $100,000 in a couple years.
I won't even go in. I won't stay in a hotel room that doesn't have the quarter vibrating thing. I will not. I refuse to stay in a room that the bed doesn't.
I can never get this like
you can even find those anymore.
Those were so cool when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Who's got a quarter?
And here's the other side.
Same thing happened to Warren. Miami Mike says same thing happened to Warren Taffy. One day you're on the top of the podcast world, then you're addicted to Mentos.
Yeah.
I swear it's his laugh on one. There's a TikTok thing where they do this laugh. I swear to God, that's Dell. I think someone stole Dell's laugh, and they're using it.
I probably could. That's funny.
Are you sure? I sound just like Dell's laugh. That obnoxious
Dale's laugh,
cackling laugh. Anyway, that's all I got.
Well, gentlemen, it was good catching up. Oh, hey, we had some results on the verses, right?
I was gonna say I don't think they're anything special. Give me a second to look them up, but there's what we would expect from a random, non-specific poll. Let's see here. Keep scrolling. Okay, so we had a total of 10 votes.
Woo!
Woohoo! 10 votes.
Yeah. Let's just say
comments.
Let's just say that the top keep it tied for the same amount of votes, which was 0.
Who tied?
Off the top and keep it trim.
Okay.
As in they tied because they had no votes.
I think I had. Was mine keep it trim?
Yeah, keep it a little off the top.
A little
off the top was mine, and legs and eggs. I had 2.
Oh, I didn't have any. That's right.
We didn't pick it. I just kind of
I forget.
But the big winner, though, I think
big winner. Okay, so in second place with how many votes did this get? I hate like Facebook changed the way you can see these now. It's
Oh,
different.
okay.
Okay. With 4 votes now is Legs and Eggs, second place.
Hey,
So with 6 votes, Hotcakes won.
Woo-hoo.
Hotcakes wins.
That's
Hot
not,
cakes,
I guess
and
Matt.
with-
I guess Matt gets redemption because.
And with that, I am your nominee for the strip club themed breakfast bar called Hotcakes. We will serve legs and eggs as a dish, just to be a gracious winner.
Were there any comments on the survey, or did anybody second guess our picks?
Didn't Jessica
No,
say
I-
like,
I-
"Oh, of
I
course you
definitely-
left off my favorite" or something like that?
Yeah.
Someone said that.
I definitely expected a little bit like a kind of a "what the fuck is this shit" kind of comment, but we never got one. No, John Rodriguez said, yeah, people just voted, yeah. And John Rodriguez was the one that said that, like, I can't believe you left off the best one, which I can't remember which one that was, but. And then Ed Smith said, "Your porn star names, love it." Let's see here. Yeah, then Cameron Lowe was like, a record low for votes on this poll. I wonder why that is. And then just ellipses.
Oh no, he wrote, "Matt, hotcakes
Oh, yeah.
is great. No reason for Chris to have stepped on your dick with a Bostonian style in your face on the nose, hat on a hat suggestion that is legs and eggs. Only he could think that's a great name." So
Damn.
shots
Wow.
fired.
Wow.
Fuck.
Wow.
Thank you,
he
Cameron.
wins the yearly football,
Nah,
NFL picks, and he thinks he can just do whatever he wants.
Cameron, if you want this postcard, just message me. I'll send you an authentic. Thanks for that comment.
Wow, Chris got slammed there.
I know.
Apparently,
Yeah.
You don't fuck with fan favorite, man.
I guess not, man. Sorry.
Well, did we want to do the other verses idea that we
Oh,
had?
shit, I totally
Because I hadn't even prepared.
I forgot all about it. Yeah.
I forgot
Start
all
next
about
week.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
Start
we
next
can do it next week.
Yeah. It's homework that we won't.
All right,
do
guys.
Last minute.
We just need to remind each other. Oh, and then no.
Is there any
Where-
emails or anything?
No, I just checked. No emails. But yeah, we need to like send a reminder to each other about the next week version.
Yeah. Like, remember our next verses. It's coming. We've got
I
a theme.
forgot about it until we.
Because communicating through text is a very efficient way to get the point across. So we all
Apparently,
know
it's
on the same page.
it's going to be a
Yeah.
4-part,
Hey, look,
possibly
I do everything
5-part
else.
series.
I can't. Nick, why don't you do it? Be the reminder.
Nick can do one more.
One more task.
I mean, I have
One
to
more
What's
come up.
another
I,
task? Yeah.
I have to come up with the great thumbnails. Come on.
No one requires you to do that.
No, no. You know who requires StreamYard requires me to do it.
I brought the green screen back today. Like that was my contribution. Like
Sherry
look
wanted- I
at
think Sherry
this
wanted to know
fancy
why this
apartment.
Is and I don't.
Here's
know.
a brick wall. Here's a Franz Hals painting. This is my painting. Take a look at that.
Bring back the Franz Hall. That was better.
Yes, I did. Miami Mike, you're correct. I did. I had my kids sign up, get on the Facebook, and vote for my favorite strip club idea.
Jay?
Balloons.
Yeah.
Oh, psychedelic.
If you don't join us live, you're missing
But
out. on all
no,
the
to
fun that we
next,
have.
I do have to do this for YouTube and for StreamYard.
Oh,
I have to do a thumbnail.
one other thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh wow, Chris,
Snowing.
can you report what's happening with your El Nino? Jack, I think we do need to do one last thing. Fan request. She joined us live in the chat. Does so almost every week. Sherry wants you to unpack the artwork you have chosen for this week's show.
Well,
Yeah.
what's up with the banana?
What's up with the banana? Did he leave her?
Because I didn't like
Or-
the fact that. Well, let me get out of the way. I didn't like the fact there was nothing down there, so I just
Right.
went. Let me put a dancing banana there.
But it also says unlock your
Wait, so
style.
you sought out
A
and
walking
chose
banana.
the dancing banana specifically?
No. I
He did.
what
I mean,
I'm-
he chose
what I'm
of all
doing
the
is
things he chose.
I spent hours.
You made her have rainbow
Again,
hair.
No one,
Yeah.
no one expected you to.
You colored in her rainbow hair with a rainbow wig. Let it be known.
Yeah, To me,
Actually, it's from a template from a shopping blog.
Oh.
So I said, okay, I'm going to leave the unlock your style. I put whatever was there, put RCAD. I put her. I said, let's give her some hair.
So when I first saw this, and in my dirty mind, just the way it works,
Yeah.
without the banana, I could have bought. Okay, yeah, it's from a style magazine, but then with the unlock your style and then the banana right next to the unlock your style, I'm just saying, my mind went where it shouldn't have gone.
You want a thumbnail that's going to get people talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely gets people talking.
And that's what happened. I
think it had us talking. Also, her shorts are cut really short.
Really short.
Yeah. You could see her pocket coming through there.
Oh
wow. Well, to be fair,
can't get out
of the way. To be fair, I only touched her hair.
Wait,
salt's a salt.
Show us the banana again, because I wish we could zoom in and look at those banana eyes, because they're hypnotizing when you look at those banana eyes.
Those look like eggs. Those look like legs and eggs to me.
Yeah, well, here's your hot.
And Sherry says, smiling as he's walking away from her. I
know, right?
I get
exactly
what hitting at. I get
that banana's been up to something.
Yeah,
she's happy. The banana's happy.
I'm just saying, I ain't gonna fall for them with no banana in the tailpipe.
I don't know if it was in the tailpipe.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no,
I don't know. I don't know if it was there.
Yeah, well, that's
a pretty good. Would be smiling.
That's a pretty good place to end it there, Nick.
Banana might be a little upset if it's in the tailpipe. Just saying.
We've all listened to that Velvet Underground album.
He wouldn't be a happy banana.
Best if peeled slowly.
Yeah, it would be like I'd have to get like
his eyes.
Colored, I'd have to get a different color, but like an old.
There's
banana.
always money in the banana stand.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks everyone who watched the podcast. If you watch it, you can see what we're talking about. I forgot what I was saying. Thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat, and that's all we got. If you'd like to become a patron. If you'd like to become a patron,
that banana's been bruised.
Wait.
It's got Tim Pink Eye. Let's see.
Oh, did you say pink eye? Okay.
Well, it has been up to tailpipe. Just saying.
Jesus Christ, this is where we need to stop. We need to stop the show right now.
Can we thank
stop the show right now?
Can we thank some patrons for making this show possible? And I'd like to thank some patrons for making this show possible, and everybody that joined us live in the chat. If you joined us live, clearly we entertain you for a solid hour and a half.
I'm doing the banana in the tailpipe next week.
Are you not entertained?
I've got green screen. Jack's got this brown eye.
Don't it make your brown eyes blue?
We're just getting real warmed up. If Randy was still awake, he'd be like, "Keep going."
Yeah,
but we have to thank some patrons,
which I don't blame him. Anyway, we like to thank 4 patrons right now who've reached a certain level. Eckhart Rickner Gloffler, Maggie that Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed, the creepy, poopy letter carrier. Thanks for what you do, and thanks for everyone who listens to us and puts up with our banana in the tailpipe. That's all we got. Hasta luego, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Goodbye, yellow.
That was one in a tailpipe.